This is from Page with Njideka, Maduka, bringing clarity to the headlines, one page at a time.
Well, it's an absolute delight to be here. You don't want to know why I'm partly amused. I'm partly amused because you know that thing that they say, you can serve two masters. I think that's my reality for now, right? You know, when I started from Page, I said, I hope to continue. I hope to continue. Because, you know, other engagements can actually take your time. You're not able to perform optimally as you would wish to. So I'm hoping, regardless of how other things are taking my time and attention. But you know what? I think I can be charged with when I get all of those reactions. Yes, those likes, those comments. If I get them, I'm more energized and more encouraged to go outside my comfort zone, my convenience, to keep bringing the front page to you. And so it is Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. Welcome to the front page. My name is Njideka. How you doing? Hope you're fantastic. Bringing clarity to the headlines, one page at a time. That's the way we do it right here. What do we have here? We have leadership, we have this day, and of course, the punch.
This is from Page with Njideka, Maduka, bringing clarity to the headlines, one page at a time.
We're starting off with this one from Leadership newspaper, leading us with the first story on the front page. Rest at last. Rest at last. I mean, look at that. Look at that headline. Rest at last. It conveys a certain kind of feeling, like reprieve. And this story has to do with the burial of Nigeria's former president, Muhammadu, Buhari, right? Reprieve from all of the pains and discomfort that come with illness. You know, the other time we said that the former president died following ill health at a London hospital. And we did mention that his ill health had always been common knowledge when he was president. But unfortunately, we never really got to know what was the ill health about. The much we could get from his spokesman at the time, Femandation was, he had a nose and ear infection. You know, in one of those travels, he said he had gone to treat it, you know. But that was the much we could get. But recently, a report I cited said he died of leukemia. Yeah, leukemia, which is cancer of the blood. I guess this headline is trying to convey the pain, the relief from the pain and tiredness that comes with such illness. But let's look at the lead. The immediate past Nigerian president, Muhammadu Buhari, was yesterday laid to rest at his hometown, Daura, in the state. The remains of the former president, who passed away on Sunday, July 13, 2025, in a London hospital, was brought into the country through the Musa Yenagoa International Airport in Katsina on Tuesday afternoon for the final interment. Well, all of the other activities came to an end yesterday. Before he was buried, there was a line in state, a prayer was offered before the final interment, which took place at about 5:50 p.m. And of course, his burial saw a convergence of who is who in the political sphere, both domestically and internationally, apart from our politicians like the president, his vice, former vice president, Shivajo. You also had some African leaders, including President Umaru Sissoco Embalo of Guinea-Bissau. I also had the Prime Minister of the Niger Republic, Ali Zain, and of course, my President of Niger Republic as well, Usufu Muhammadu. I really found the presence of the Nigerian representative interesting because, that country actually opted out of ECOWAS recently because of the military regime in that country. And the presence of the representatives is quite significant. A crazy impression that despite the diplomatic tension that had followed the military takeover in Niger Republic, there were limitations to diplomatic strain, especially in depth. Right? So we can have that misunderstanding when it comes to certain geopolitical issues, but it doesn't stop us from respecting the dead. And I found that interesting because the Prime Minister of Niger and the person of Ali Zain couldn't have come to represent the country if the military leader in that country, in the person of Abdurrahman Chiani, had not given him permission to come to Nigeria. Like I said, it shows some sort of diplomatic maturity and restraint. And I think it's also about reciprocity. I remember there was a time it was reported that Niger Republic was having issues with their business partners in China regarding their petrol. Petrol was a short supply because of some disagreement with the business partners, and they had to resort to Nigeria. And the President Tinubu actually gave permission for oil to be sold to them. And the report was he wanted to use that opportunity to see whether he can also change the mind of the Nigerian military government to come back to their senses and pick the democratic route. So it kind of warms my heart, and I hope that they can continue with this measured reciprocity on their own part. I mean, the military government couldn't have come because ECOWAS does not recognize it, neither does the government of Nigeria. But that is quite a significant gesture. Beyond that, the presence of important people also is quite significant. It showed who Buhari was. I mean, rising to the highest position in the land, right from the military time to the democratic dispensation, is not something everybody would have a chance at in life, but he had it. And in the process of rising through the ranks of the stages of his life, he must have met all the powerful people who deemed it fit to converge on Daura yesterday, Tuesday, to pay the last respect. But I think it's also beyond their presence signifying the clout and its prominence. It's also about us reflecting how the ordinary Nigerian feels about his government. Like you already know, the way he ran his government has been a subject of debate. Many people have resorted to debating on whether he actually governed well or he did the opposite. There was something about Buhari's government that didn't lead to that consensus that he ruled satisfactorily or to the satisfaction of Nigerians. As if one of his relations actually understood these different opinions about Buhari. When she was being interviewed, said, well, Nigeria should forgive him, forgive his shortcomings, and look at his intention rather than his action, or something like that. Oh, well, for many Nigerians, I think the intention was actually conveyed by his actions, by his body language that seemed to portray favoritism, unresponsiveness, nonchalant attitude. Well, I guess he has played his part. And we'll see what happens with the political terrain. But of course, leaving that story on leadership, you have this one on this day. This day is talking about defection on the front page. Diri's defection to APC imminent as group rallies age your nation. There is a defection to APC imminent as group rallies age your nation. Well, look at the lead here. the eventual defection of the Bayelsa State Governor, Senator Douye, from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to ruling All Progressives Congress is getting near about the day, as a group under the coordination of one of his media aides, Mr. Muhammadu, has urged him to make the move. As a group under the coordination of one of his media aides. A group under the coordination of one of his media aides. So is it a case of the witch cried at night and the baby died in the morning, like John the Baptist trying to announce the coming of Jesus or announcing the coming of Jesus? If you look at, I think, the leadership newspaper, it gives the impression that they were just calling on him to defect. But this one is almost projecting that it was imminent. It was just a matter of time. He's the only governor in the South that is still in the opposition party, the People's Democratic Party. Apart from being like a loner, right? They want him to defect because they want to attract developments to the region. Yeah, there is that complaint that certain projects have been abandoned because they were not connected to the center. It's really funny how we endorse, let's say, illogicality, things that do not even or should not be spoken among Democrats. For some of the things that we do, you want to connect to the center because you need to carry out certain projects, or maybe you want to have the listening ear of those at the center, and so you have to defect before you can have their listening ears, or before they can listen to you. I don't know how it makes sense, but I would think that democracy is all about choices, the more the merrier. And so when you see and hear politicians endorse this kind of mindset, it's really worrisome. And so everybody will have to be in one party to be able to attract development, right? Apart from the federal allocation, the monthly federal allocation everybody gets, you can't get any other thing. You can't get any special financial aid or consideration if you don't align with the center. How democratic is that? How democratic is that? Well, we will see whether he will actually defect. Akwa State Governor has defected. Delta State Governor has defected. APC was able to clinch. PDP from Edo State, Cross River State had long defected before handing over to the current government, which order stated that South, right? And so let's see whether the development will come by the time all of them defect to the center. But there is a story on Anambra State, we just give it a mention. Anambra contractors protest unpaid 900 million supply of diesel to power street lights. Anambra contractors protest unpaid 900 million naira supply of diesel to power street lights. Well, this story says a group of contractors in Anambra State who supply diesel for use in generators for powering streetlights across the state have staged a peaceful protest at the government house in Oka. Basically, they are being owed 900 million naira for diesel, and of course, they are calling attention of the government. They're crying the fact that they have not been able to meet other financial obligations because they're being owed by the government. It's good that the government has responded in a positive manner, because they said payment has started, and the further payment has started, it indicates that they're willing to pay this sum, despite the fact that the contract was awarded before the coming of the Governor Muhammadu administration. So it's a good thing. I know there was that talk about using solar to power some of the street lights. Would they have to resort to solar? I think it's also about government being up and about when it comes to its financial obligations. I mean, when you look at the payment they make to themselves, do they owe themselves? Do they? When it comes to important things like this, it becomes a problem. I know street lights are needed, especially at night, to light up areas prone to insecurity. This is when The criminal ones actually disguise in the covers of the dark to do or engage in all manner of illicit activity. So street lights are needed to protect our people. Open away on the front page of the Punch. Final salute. Nigeria beats Buhari emotional farewell. Final salute. Nigeria beats Buhari emotional farewell. It's going to be a continuous analysis of the deaths and final burial of the former president. A week-long event, by the way, has been lined up to commemorate his life and time. In some quarters, some people are actually calling for the naming of certain monuments after him just to show respect. You know how we do it in this country. If you occupy the highest position in the land and they are not named the street after you, means that you have not started. Still, on the Punch, look at this business-related story. Marketers protest as Dangote moves to crush cooking gas price. Marketers protest as Dangote moves to crush cooking gas price. The president of the Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, has announced plans to reduce the price of liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas. He also promised to start direct sales of the product to consumers should the existing distributors fail to allow the price crush in cooking gas. I think that Dangote was to give these people some palpitations and hypertension. You know, it's almost like dictating how the market should go, the oil market, saying, well, if you're not willing to crash the price, then expect me to come with something that would crash the price. And the marketers are crying. I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that. That is like your monopoly. Oh, well. I think the question will have to be asked is Dangote talking from sanctity about the market indices? What does he know about the market that the average Nigerian does not know? Does he suspect that there are some shady deals going on in the oil market that could have led to the decrease of gas price? But it's not happening because the marketers are being dishonest about things. On the other hand, you have to ask the question, are marketers doing that deliberately? The answers we have to know whether Dangote is actually trying to be monopolistic or trying to ensure that there is sanity in the market. Right? And so if he's given the impression that this is not a competitive price the marketers are projecting, what's making it so? Can marketers come out and tell us why prices of gas are high? What are they experiencing that are leading to high costs of gas? I didn't cite anywhere they said this is what is leading to the high price, except some of the stakeholders say the gas market, the gas industry has always been about collaboration. Collaboration has enabled us to supply the amount we supply hurriedly, despite starting at a low quantity. You know, in the business sector, you know, when we're taught in school, the distribution channel from the manufacturer to the wholesaler, from the wholesaler to the retailer, from the retailer to the consumer. I guess that's what they're calling collaboration, everybody playing their part in the value chain. But it seems Dangote wants to remove part of the value chain and sell directly to the consumer. And they say, no, it's not possible. And so if Dangote wants to sell directly to the consumers, how is he going to do it? Is he going to put up his own gas stations? You know, when it comes to fuel, he has said he's going to supply his own trucks. And the marketers have also expressed concern when it comes to that. Will he bring his own trucks to convey the gas to a Dangote gas station to the final consumers? How is it going to play out? Either way, the marketers are not finding it for them because they see themselves playing less role when it comes to gas distribution. Or what do you think, actually? Is it about monopoly, or you think this will actually push marketers to devise ways to reduce the cost of their gas? Is it not something doable? Will this particular move by Dangote force marketers to ensure that their prices are competitive, begin to look inward to spot those things that are making the price of their own gas costly? At the end of the day, I think the Nigerian masses should be on the lookout. Is this a competition we have been aiming for? Even though some people project it as monopoly. I just pray that the Nigerian people will be the beneficiaries at the end of the day. But leaving that story, they have this one just for the road, the SARS story. 27 farmers killed in a fresh Plateau attack. Another headline on the front page of the Punch. 27 farmers killed in a fresh Plateau attack. We're learning that this happened in Bindi, Jabe of the Tahos community in Rayom local government area of Plateau State. It's a never-ending story and it's so pathetic. At this point, I don't know what to say because there shouldn't be any excuse for the recurrent carnage going on in places like Plateau and Benue State. You know, the last time it happened in Yawata, there was this outcry, and the president had to go to Yawata, had to go to Benue. He didn't go to Yawata, no, I don't think he went to Yawata. He went to Benue. But there have been killings upon killings after that. In Plateau, Benue, or in the different parts of the country. What should be done about the insecurity in Nigeria? What should be done about the insecurity in Nigeria? It's surprising that people are still dwelling in this place because personally, I don't think I would have endured the uncertainty surrounding my life. And the fact that I don't know if I can make it the next day. And if I wake up the next day, whether I can make it to the end of the day. It's not a good way to live. And nobody should be seen living this way with uncertainty. There should be something you should have a measure of control on, including your life. There should be a measure of control, but once you cannot control it, because it's not within the control of non-state actors, it's really a sad thing. And I hope the government can take seriously the insecurity being witnessed by our fellow Nigerians. I think you'll have to call it a wrap here on the front page today. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, let's know what you think about some of the headlines. You can drop a comment in the comment section. Follow me on all of my social media platforms. Just visit linktree.ee/Njideka. Maduka, that's linktr.ee/Njideka. Maduka. Let's connect there. You'll be able to see some other things I've been able to put up on those platforms. Until we see you again next time, keep doing all your best, killing yourself, and leave the rest to God. I will see you next time, hopefully. Have a wonderful, fantastic Wednesday.